Hi friends, welcome to World Explorer. Today, on account of World Alzheimer's Day on September 21, the theme of this year is Let's Talk About Dementia. Hashtags are Let's Talk About Dementia, World ALZ Month. Alzheimer's disease is first identified by Dr. Alois Alzheimer, German neuropathologist, and he named the disease in the 1906. Alzheimer's disease is insidious, severe, progressive cognitive impairment. Alzheimer's disease is irreversible and it destroys all the cognitive functions. Memory, language, visuospatial disturbances is very common. It is seen in older adults, but even younger are affected. Some of the diseases are familial and it's autosomal dominant or sporadic. These are the warning signs of Alzheimer's disease. Memory loss that disrupts the daily life, challenges in planning or solving problems, difficulty completing the familiar task, confusion with time or place, trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships, newer problems with the words in speaking or writing, misplacing things and losing the ability to retrace steps, decreased or poor judgment, withdrawal from the work or social activities, changes in mood or personality. These are the most common symptoms of Alzheimer's. Now, all these symptoms we see in age related changes also, because with old age we see the memory loss, we see the decision making capacity is decreased. But how we can differentiate it from age related changes? If we are making once a while bad decision, that is related to age, but in dementia it is poor judgment and decision making. In age related changes it may be missing monthly payment, but in dementia they are unable to manage their budget. Forgetting which day and they may remember it later, that is related to age change, but they are completely losing the track, they doesn't remember the date or season, that's related to dementia. Sometimes forgetting which word to use is very common in age related changes, but it's very difficult to have conversation in dementia. Losing things from time to time is very common in age related changes, but in dementia it is misplacing the things and unable to memorize where they have kept it. That is the most common symptom of dementia. Some of the anatomical changes. Anatomical changes are loss of neurons in the brain, cerebral cortex and hippocampus, and it's accredited to protein tau, structural element of neuron that gets distorted and twisted, and also the amyloid plaques. These are the dense deposits of beta amyloid 42 protein, and neurofibrillary tangles with amyloid plaques, and which disrupt the neuronal communication and also affect the metabolism, repair mechanisms and death of the neurons. Affected parts of the brain are frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, hippocampus, amygdala and neurotransmitters. If the frontal lobe is getting affected, it's related to impaired reasoning, poor judgment and aggressiveness. If parietal lobe is getting affected, it's lead to impaired orientation, impaired visuospatial skills. Occipital lobe leads to language interpretation and agnosia. Agnosia is unable to identify the things. Temporal lobes, if getting affected, they are having difficulties in ability to recall the words, and even sometimes delusion and hallucinations are seen. If hippocampus is getting affected, impaired memory is seen and also the short-term memory loss. If amygdala is getting affected, it's lead to emotional disturbances, depression, anxiety, fear, personality changes, apathy and paranoia is very common. If neurotransmitters are getting affected, such as acetylcholine, it lead to restlessness, sleeplessness and agitation. So dementia is a collective name for the progressive degenerative brain syndromes which affect memory, thinking, behavior and emotion. Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia are most common, and dementia is characterized with the symptoms of loss of cognitive function and behavioral abilities which interfere with the daily living. So dementia, these are the types: Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, frontotemporal dementia, Parkinson's disease dementia and some other dementias. So these are the dementias which we discuss in detail. Some of the symptoms related to dementia are loss of memory, difficulty finding the right words, inability to understand what others are saying, difficulty to perform the routine task, personality and mood changes are very common. These are the some of the extrapyramidal symptoms which happen, such as akathisia, that is restlessness, foot tapping, rocking. Pseudo-Parkinsonism. Parkinsonism is characterized by pill rolling finger movement, but this mimics the Parkinsonism, that is called as pseudo-Parkinsonism. This is characterized by facial masking, shuffling gait, etc. Dyskinesia, that is rolling tongue, kissing or sucking motion, lip smacking, facial distortions are seen in dyskinesia. And dystonia, here it is seen arching of back, and torticollis, that is some of the muscles of the neck are getting affected, because of which they put their neck to only one side, that is called as torticollis. Hoarse voice and dysphagia. Dysphagia is inability to swallow. So these are the some of the symptoms of extrapyramidal symptoms. Stages of dementia starts with healthy cognitive functioning and mild cognitive impairment, then early stage dementia, then moderate dementia, and progressive to severe dementia. Ways to decrease dementia. Some of the heart diseases such as cardiovascular disease, atherosclerosis even lead to dementia. So we need to take care of heart, and we need to take care of the antihypertensives which we are taking. You should be physically active and maintain the healthy diet and challenge your brain and enjoy the social activity. Community role is accept the patients with dementia, avoid stigma and discrimination, and emotional support. Now let's discuss about Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is affecting the higher brain structures, and we see amyloid plaques characterized by cognitive deficits, memory deficit, wandering, and aphasia, common in the age group of 60 to 80 years. Mild cognitive impairment is cognitive decline, and there is no effect on activities of daily living, and it even progresses to dementia. Multi-infarct or vascular dementia, it's related to the cerebral infarctions related to cardiovascular disease and diabetes, characterized by the cognitive impairment, emotional ability, dysarthria, dysphagia, stepwise deterioration of the person. Dementia with Lewy bodies, this is accumulation of synuclein protein. This is characterized by the cognitive impairment, Parkinsonian symptoms, random eye movement, sleep disorders, hallucinations, and apathy. Parkinson disease is because of dopamine deficiency, which is characterized by the movement disorders, dysarthria, dysphagia, and bradykinesia. Even late cognitive dysfunction is seen, tremors, rigidity, slowness of movement, postural instability, and pill rolling movements are seen. Frontotemporal dementia or Pick's dementia. This is related to protein accumulation in the neurons, characterized by the cognitive impairment, depression, apathy, wandering, disorientation, and lack of inhibition. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, this is related to prion protein abnormalities, cognitive impairment, myoclonus, and extrapyramidal movements are seen. Hydrocephalus, this is because of increased CSF in the cerebral ventricles. The causes of CSF increase is subarachnoid hemorrhage, infection, trauma, and tumor. Cognitive impairment, gait disorders, and incontinence is seen. Huntington disease characterized by the cognitive impairment and choreiform movements, and dysarthria, dysphagia, and bruxism. This is autosomal dominant disease. Whenever autosomal dominant disease, it is better to have some genetic counseling. Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, which is related to the alcoholism, AIDS, cancer, and hyperthyroidism, which is characterized by the severe thiamine deficiency. And symptoms include confusion, permanent memory gaps, motor and coordination difficulty, and damage is irreversible. Gerstmann-Straussler snare disease, here we are seeing the prions and characterized by cerebral ataxia and cognitive impairment. HIV-associated dementia or AIDS dementia complex characterized by the cognitive impairment and motor dysfunction, paraparesis, and depression. Neurosyphilis, this is related to sexually transmitted diseases caused by spirochetes, characterized by the cognitive impairment, tremors, ataxia, and dysarthria. Traumatic brain injury, it also leads to memory impairment, behavioral symptoms with or without motor or sensory deficits. Delirium is characterized by confusion, clouding of consciousness, difficulty to maintain concentration and attention. Usually the reasons are pneumonia and UTI in the older population. Delirium is acute and reversible. Medications leading to delirium are diuretics, opioids, steroids, antidepressants, antipsychotics, antihypertensives, and anticholinergics. Now delirium is to be differentiated from dementia. Delirium is reversible, but dementia is not. Depression is characterized by symptoms of hopelessness, helplessness, and worthlessness, and also the suicidal tendencies, poor concentration, apathy, decreased psychomotor ability, and sleep disturbances and fatigue. This should be differentiated from the dementia with the symptoms of classic symptoms of Alzheimer's disease are memory difficulty, agitation, disturbed sleep-wake cycle, and also the personality changes. We should differentiate this depression in early stages itself, because late changes. If you are diagnosing the Alzheimer disease late, and if you are confusing with depression, and if you are giving the antidepressants, it even increases the cholinergic activity. Some of the drugs which we use to treat depression, it leads to progressive Alzheimer disease, and it may end to severe Alzheimer disease. Next is dementia summary. Dementia is characterized by memory impairment, cognitive disturbance, and interfering the social and occupational functioning. We have to differentiate it from the delirium and depression. Pharmacotherapy includes NMDA receptor antagonist, memantine, cholinesterase inhibitors, donepezil, tacrolimus, rivastigmine, galantamine, antipsychotics used to treat agitation, delusions, and aggression. Benzodiazepines used to treat agitation and anxiety. SSRIs used to treat depression. Paroxetine to decrease anxiety. Citalopram to decrease apnea and irritability. Mental status examination we are going to do for the patient. We are going to check the verbal fluency, whether how much they are able to pronounce their words. Comprehension, we are trying to show some images and we will ask them to point the objects. Naming and word finding is done. Orientation, we are going to check with the time, place and person. Where are you and who are you and who is this person standing beside you, like these questions we are going to ask. New learning abilities, we are going to find out. We are trying to teach them some new words and we are asking them to find out. And we are going to tell a verbal story to identify immediate recall, because we see a symptom called as short-term memory loss. And visual memory test, paired associate learning, construction ability, written complex calculations, proverb interpretation and similarities. These are the things which we do in mental status examination. Lab testing is done by complete blood test, blood chemistry for electrolytes, calcium, glucose, urinalysis, urine culture, LFT, KFT, vitamin B12, folate levels, syphilis or HIV testing. Reasons to decrease self-care activity or memory loss and short attention span. Activities of daily living we have to plan in such a manner they are done in a routine manner and at fixed time, like bathing, dressing, undressing, eating, toileting, mobility. Wandering is very common in Alzheimer disease, so this is aimless and sometimes it is purposeful and purposeless. We have to give an identification bracelet and also contact numbers, and we need to provide the safe environment. Sundown syndrome is very common. This is restlessness in the evening or night. This can be because of shadows, by lighting or disturbing dreams. Avoid caffeine and alcohol in the evening to decrease the sundown syndrome. Say no to the morning sleep and bedtime routine. Hoarding disorder is very common. Don't misplace the items. If a patient is in a inpatient, we need to label the items of a patient with their names, and we should find out the activities of a person where he is keeping the things routinely, and we have to identify and give to them to avoid the aggression of a patient. Agitation or aggression is very common. The causes are misplacing of items, such as sometimes the environment is also the cause. We have to identify the cause, and we have to calm and reassure the patient, distract the patient from the present situation. Soothing music is helpful. Calm and peaceful environment is needed. Catastrophic reactions, that is overstated emotional response, task failure, agitation or aggression, violence tendency. Don't expect more than the capabilities. Give them the tasks which they can fulfill. Don't over stress the patient. Hallucinations and delusions are common. Identify the harmful thoughts of hallucination. Ask if there is some of the medications which are causing. Try to control the medications and distract the patient. Risks are aspiration, impaired skin integrity, contractures due to immobility. So if patient is having risk of aspiration, modify the diet plans. And impaired skin integrity, we have to give the back massage or maintain the nutrition in a proper manner. To avoid the contractures due to immobility, we have to give the passive range of motion exercise if patient is not able to do, or we are going for exercise for the persons who are doing the routine activities. Care plan includes nutrition and meal timings, routine activity, bowel and bladder activity, simple tasks, reality orientation to time, place and person. Activities which we plan are purposeful, voluntary, non-competitive, planned, individualized, sometimes simple, and it's related to activities of daily living. So sometimes we can even plan outreach to a restaurant, beach, but we should be very careful. There should be more caretakers. Sometimes picture books, dolls, puzzles and individualized plans will helpful. Care for dementia, simplification of tasks, focus on abilities instead of disabilities, and family support groups is needed. Music therapy is helpful. singing, listening to music, dancing and sound control is essential. Some of the persons we need to have individualized music. Arts and crafts are satisfying, painting based on the interest we have to do. Spiritual activities, we should know the activities what the person doing, and positive statements are helpful, motivational thoughts are needed. Pet therapy is very helpful because of unconditional affection and approval by the pets. Usually kittens and puppies are very helpful, or seeing a fish in the aquarium is soothing for the patient. Listening to birds is also very helpful. Exercise and physical activity, we should based on like it may be like walking, and don't restrain the patient until unless if he or others are in danger. Caregiver qualities, we should be very happy, and we should have some relaxed communication, we should have some patience and tolerance to unusual behaviors and stress situations, creative and flexible, full knowledge about the dementias. Early detection will help in risk reduction, and surveillance and monitoring is needed. Promote cognitive health, health education and promotion campaigns, and guide research activities. Public health, respond, surveillance, monitoring, promote early detection of Alzheimer's. If you like this video, subscribe, like and comment. youtube.com/World Explorer India. Thank you.